If you take a look at London, you have a mayor named Khan. He's a horrible mayor. He's an incompetent mayor, but he's a horrible, vicious, disgusting mayor. I think he's done a terrible job.
This is just the latest in a series of barbs that have been exchanged between London's mayor and the US president. Speaking to Politico UK this week, Donald Trump called Sadiq Khan horrible, vicious, and disgusting. Yes, it feels strong, but this isn't anything new. In fact, this rift dates back to 2015, before Trump was the US president and before Sadiq Khan was the mayor. Following the attacks in Paris in November 2015, then presidential candidate Donald Trump called for a ban on all Muslims from entering the US.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
I therefore declare Sadiq Khan to be elected as the new Mayor of London.
But when Sadiq Khan became the London mayor 6 months later, Trump said he was happy London had elected its first Muslim mayor. He also said Sadiq could be an exception to his proposed Muslim ban. It turned out Sadiq had no interest in any special treatment from the US president, telling the BBC, "I think Donald Trump has ignorant views about Islam and that he's playing into the hands of extremists." Sadiq then added insult to injury by saying he hoped Hillary Clinton would trounce Donald Trump in the US presidential election. And of course, Trump didn't take that well.
When he won, I wished him well. Now, I don't care about him. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me about him. Let's see how he does. I mean, let's see if he's a good mayor.
Are you offended by what he said?
Yeah, I am, because he doesn't know me, never met me, doesn't know what I'm all about. I think they're very rude statements, and frankly, tell him I will remember those statements. They're very nasty statements.
And it's true. He did remember. In June of 2017, 8 people were killed when 3 attackers ploughed a van into pedestrians on London Bridge before launching a knife attack in nearby Borough Market. Donald Trump, now president, tweeted, "At least 7 dead and 48 wounded in a terror attack." And the mayor of London says there's no reason to be alarmed. Now, Sadiq didn't respond. But a year later, here at LBC, James O'Brien asked Sadiq Khan if he would shake Trump's hand at a state visit.
If he asks to meet with me, I will meet with him. I'm not sure about shaking hands because he plays these sort of games with shaking hands, and I'm not sure if I could hold his hand for 5 minutes as he requires.
Follow Go for the Trudeau model. You don't have to worry about that. Will you seek a meeting with him?
No, it's for him to ask to. If he wants to meet with him, I'll be, of course, happy to meet with him.
I thought you were going to take him to your home.
Well,
wasn't that the plan at one point?
I would be more than happy to meet with Donald Trump, for him to meet my family, and to meet other Londoners who are proud Londoners, proud Brits, proud Muslims, to show him that it is possible to be a Muslim, to love your country, and to be a Westerner. And that offer still stands, James.
In July of 2018, a blimp of baby Donald Trump was flown over Parliament Square during the US president's working visit to the UK. Campaigners raised almost £18,000 to pay for the 6-metre-long inflatable, and guess who gave them permission to fly it over London? The next summer, Trump had his first official state visit. Before boarding Air Force One bound for the UK, he took yet another swipe at Sadiq Khan.
No, I don't think much of him. I think that he's the twin of Blasio, except shorter.
As Trump campaigned for what turned out to be an unsuccessful second term in 2020, Sadiq Khan was vocal in his endorsement of Joe Biden.
The choice my American friends have today on election day is a continuation of a hate-fueled president who believes in division, who believes in, a sort of politics of hatred, dividing communities, or a new future for America, one filled with hope, one filled with unity. And I'm hoping the team of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win.
And when Trump lost, Sadiq said that he lacked the grace that previous presidential losers had.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote 4 years ago, and in a dignified way and a graceful way and a classy way accepted defeat. And you compare and contrast Donald Trump. And I asked this question rhetorically. It's a question I posed to an interviewer when I was interviewed by American TV is, are you surprised?
On the 6th of January 2021, tens of thousands of people gathered in Washington, D.C. to decry what they believed to be a stolen election.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Following a speech from Donald Trump, where he claimed he would never concede the election, insurrectionists stormed the Capitol building. The next day, here at LBC, James O'Brien asked Sadiq Khan if he'd ever been frightened of the rhetoric that Donald Trump had been pushing.
There are many occasions over the last 4.5 years where I've been frightened. What you saw last night, I'm afraid, was inevitable. When, I'm not sure who it was who said this, but when somebody shows us who they are, you should believe them. And Trump showed me and many of your listeners who he was some years ago.
Whilst on the campaign trail for a second term, Donald Trump managed to survive an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. The bullet grazed his right ear, giving us these dramatic images. It was a huge turning point in this election campaign, and Trump was back out with a bandaged ear at the Republican National Convention with running mate J.D. Vance just a few days later. And here in the UK...
he's in my thoughts and prayers. Unfortunately, somebody lost their life. We think about them. People got injured. There is no place for violence in politics or in mainstream society.
In November of that year, Trump finally got his second term. And here in the UK, Nigel Farage, leader of Reform, was celebrating.
To have a president that is pro-British after 4 years of the ghastly Biden is a great opportunity for our nation. I really do. Whether a Labour Party that has people like Sadiq Khan in it, who has waged a 10-year feud, or a foreign secretary like David Lammy, who has said the most disobliging things, or a Labour Party that sent 100 of its staffers to campaign for Kamala Harris. Can you imagine a greater diplomatic stupidity than that?
Have you revised your view of Donald Trump? Do you now regard him as a fine poet, an astrophysicist, a dancer, a style model, and the rest of it?
My job is to stand up for London, our values, our sense of openness. I don't believe it's the right thing to do to attack democratic institutions. I don't think it's the right thing to do to attack fact-based journalism. I don't think it's the right thing to do to attack minority communities. That was Trump term one. I'm really hoping everything is crossed, that President Trump in his second term is different to President Trump in his first term.
In February 2025, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the White House and faced an extraordinary dressing down in front of the world's media.
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Now, a lot of people in Europe were shocked and concerned by this confrontation, and Sadiq Khan was no exception.
You may think, why is the Mayor of London expressing an opinion about the President of USA or Putin? The answer is because what happens in Ukraine happens to us, but also we have tens of thousands of Ukrainians who are refugees in our city because of Putin's illegal invasion.
During an unofficial visit to the UK this summer, the London mayor was once again in Trump's thoughts. His first dig was during a press conference with an uncomfortable-looking Keir Starmer in Scotland.
I think he's done a terrible job, the mayor of London, but a nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's
a friend of mine, actually.
No, I think he's done a terrible job, but I would certainly visit London. Yeah. Europe has a big immigration problem. They also liked when I said that they have one of the worst mayors anywhere in the world in London. He's a horrible mayor, nasty guy, stupid guy in my opinion, but he's a nasty man.
2 months later, Trump enjoyed a whirlwind state visit. It involved all the pageantry he was promised, visiting the royals at Windsor Castle, a 160-person state banquet, and talks with Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Chequers.
On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to one of the great friendships, to two great countries.
But missing from all of this was London's mayor.
I didn't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want them. I think the mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world.
5 days later, Trump gave a nearly 1 hour-long address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York.
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that.
What I think is wrong for him to say, and I'm paraphrasing, that Sharia law is coming to London, because he's clearly linking the fact that I'm a Muslim and I'm proud of that maybe my ethnic origin, with his views on those things.
So it seemed Sadiq had the last word, until this week, where Trump has doubled down on the Islam angle.
He's a disaster. He's got a totally different ideology of what he's supposed to have. And he gets elected because so many people have come in and they vote for him now.
This year, Trump has shown that he's capable of going from enemy to friend. But his feud with Sadiq Khan only seems to be getting more hostile. UK and US counterparts have avoided acknowledging the feud head-on, but will they manage to keep a lid on it in 2026?